What's the most mischievous thing you've ever done?
I did write something down for this. Let me just see what I wrote. The most mischievous thing I've ever done was probably lying to my parents about who I was dating so that I could sleep over at their house.
Hi, Mum and Dad.
Hi. My name's Abbey. I'm 17 and I am an ice cream scooper. I think being the youngest would be like an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time, because I have the advantage of people underestimating me for being young, but also like the age gap between me and other players might be like a bit hard to bridge socially, but I think it's something that I'll be able to overcome. I think with a lot of the older contestants, I'll be able to build like a familial sort of relationship with them, like parent-child sort of relationship, because sorry.
It's okay.
Because I think like the age gap, because they'll most likely have kids, and so I'll be able to like be their kid on the show sort of thing, as well as people that are closer to my age. I think I have like good skills with bonding with people older than me, so I think being able to bond with them and work with them socially, I think I'll be able to do that. Yeah, I think I'll be able to work with parents better because they just view me like in that sort of light, and I also connect well with like people who are parents, so yeah. My hobbies would include dancing, reading and writing. I love all creative things, and drawing. I love to watch Survivor and lots of other reality TV shows as well. Yeah, I would say I'm between like I wouldn't call myself a casual fan at all. I'd say I'm just below a super fan level. So like I haven't seen all the seasons, but I do play like in multiple orgs, and you know, I'm always active when seasons are on, so yeah. Okay, so I've played 3 orgs before. The first one I played in, I got 6th. I got blindsided by my closest ally, and then she went on to win. In the second one, I got 8th, and then in the third one, which was an all-stars season, I got 11th. Looking back on what I did wrong, the first one was definitely about my social game and how I didn't connect with a bunch of people on the other tribe like I could have. The second one was just really unlucky circumstances, just because I was on the bottom and it was just a matter of time. And then the third one was kind of the opposite to the first one, where I had a really good social game, but my strategic game was kind of lacking, and I formed a lot of bonds, but I didn't use them in the proper ways I should have. Okay, so if I was in that position again where I was on the bottom, I would just basically use any way I could get out. So whether that's like pleading to anyone like that's got power, whether I can be a number for them, how they can use me in things, if I'm winning immunities to keep myself safe, you know, making moves, finding idols, things like that. For me, whether I want to make a big move or not, it depends on the timing. So I wouldn't want to make a big move pre-merge, because that would just like ruin my game for the rest of the game. Whereas if I made it later in the game and I had a chance of getting to the end, I would see it as more worth it, even if I did get out like 5th or 4th. I would say in terms of lead, follow, or do my own thing, I do a mixture of all 3. Like if I need to be in a position where I can lead, I will lead. If I need to follow to like stay under the radar, I can follow. Or if I just want to do my own thing, I can do that too. Definitely keep the big threats, because that's one thing I've definitely struggled with with my experience in orgs, just because I've always not been able to manage my threat level, so keeping other people around was definitely helped me. My strategy going into the game would be to be loyal to like a solid group of like 3 people, and use that to like kind of control the game, and then when it gets to the pointy end of the game, not be afraid to turn on them to benefit myself further. To win Backyard Survivor, I think it takes a big knowledge of the game, as well as an ability to connect with other people and have a really good adaptiveness, because it is run over a really short period of time. So being able to like adapt and go with the flow really well, I think that's really important in terms of winning. Yeah, of course I'm going to be looking for idols. You know, they're so important to the game. They can be such a game changer, and being able to play one at the right time can really like benefit you. It can get you so much further in the game, or even being able to play an idol on someone else when you need to. That's so important. I want to play Backyard Survivor because I think I can win it, and I have the drive to win it, and I want to prove to everyone else that I can win it. I definitely have to prove when I'm going in that age isn't going to stop me, and being so young isn't going to like affect the way I play, because regardless of age, I think anyone can play Survivor, and I want to prove that. I think I'll be remembered for 1, being the youngest Backyard Survivor winner ever, and 2, just having like a really fun and dynamic game. If I was the first person out, I would definitely be disappointed, but I'd take the loss, you know. I'd go with the flow. I'd probably make a joke out of it, you know. But I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't like be too upset. Like I wouldn't be devastated by it. I'd just be disappointed. I think my friends would describe me as very loud and outgoing. Like I don't have a lot of a filter, which can be an issue sometimes. But I think like sociable, loud, friendly, and outgoing.
What about someone meeting you for the first time?
I feel like when I meet someone for the first time, I am a little bit more shy. Like when I talk to people, I'm a bit more quiet and I don't like reveal my full personality at first. But like after like 10 minutes of like connection, then you know, I get there. I think loyalty is really important depending on the situation. I think early on, loyalty is such an important factor because you need to be able to trust people. But then when you get to later on in the game, it's really about you're playing for yourself rather than someone else. And if I was on the jury and someone was disloyal to me, that wouldn't impact my thoughts on them at all. I think I'd be most proud of the way in the past few years I've really come to know myself and be myself and be able to live authentically like that. I have a lot of resilience, which means that I can bounce back from things when they are hard for me. And I think I have a lot of ambition and determination, which helps me get through life. My biggest fear in life is probably, besides needles, probably just like abandonment and like the fear of just being alone.
Scrap the needle challenge.
Yeah.
The nicest compliment I ever received was from someone who was actually like a lot older than me, that she's probably like 30-ish. And she basically just said that like I was really like, I had a really good head on my shoulders and I was able to say what I want and back myself well when I said things. And I really appreciated that. I'd say my biggest flaw is the fact that I can be quite annoying at times, as well as I can have a bit of an ego when I want to. So I think those things, they can like turn people off me at times. I'd say my biggest weakness might be my age, just because, you know, it is different, or yeah, my ego. I think I can be a little bit overbearing at times, but as long as I can like keep that down in control, I think I'll be okay. I would say that some rules would be made to be broken, whereas others I think are there for a reason. When I play Backyard Survivor, I don't think morals will come into the question much at all, just because I think the only thing I have to worry about with morals is making sure I don't offend other people by not following them. But in terms of my own self, I think morals aren't a huge deal for me. If someone was upset by my gameplay, I'd probably just like genuinely apologize, because I don't actually mean to offend anyone if I was playing like a cutthroat game. I'm just doing it to get myself further. So I genuinely apologize for the way I made them feel and like try to show them why I did what I did. I would say my generation's pretty cool. We definitely have done a lot of interesting stuff, especially over the past year over the internet. Like, you know, we're creating a musical on TikTok about Ratatouille. I think there's a lot of things our generation has done that's like really interesting, and I think going forward when we're older will be pretty powerful.
And so what do you think of the generations above you?
Okay, so I'll talk about all of the generations. I think millennials are
millennial? Oh,
I'm Gen Z. I would say millennials are probably my favorite generation apart from my own, just because I have the most like understanding with them, like the most similarities with them. We both generations kind of come from the same sort of branch where we know we value the same things and we know what we want. Gen X I value a lot because that's my parents' generation, and I think that overall they'll be like, you know, they're like a strong generation who knows what they're doing, knows what they want. Baby boomers are quite like an interesting generation, because I think that they're very like diverse in the sense that some of them are very self-aware and introspective, whereas some of them are less so. So I think they're definitely an interesting one. In terms of keeping secrets, I would say that I'm fairly good at them when I need to be. However, if I don't want to keep a secret, I'm not going to keep a secret. It really just depends on whether I want to or not. So I've just finished year 12. I literally finished my exams last week and I'm going on leavers next week. So yeah, I'm going to be the youngest player, which is really interesting. So I would consider myself fairly smart. You know, I'm like decent academically, and I also think that I've got good social skills and social smarts. However, at the same time, I can sometimes say things that sound a little bit stupid, so people might not pick up on that, which I think when I'm playing a game will be quite beneficial to me, because I'll have the smarts, but people won't realize it. I 100% think I'll be able to outsmart people in Backyard Survivor. I think I'll get very underestimated based on my age and based on the fact that, like I said, I can say dumb things at times. And I think people underestimate me, and I think that at one point in time I'll be able to outsmart them by like showing them that I'm not what they think I am. I wouldn't say I live with regrets, because you do things as they are, and when things happen, they just happen, and you can't really control the past, so what's the point on dwelling on it? I do dancing, and I also do a bit of swimming. I used to be competitive in swimming at a state level. Yeah, so I used to compete at state level competitions. I would win medals. My best stroke was backstroke. So yeah, I would consider myself an adrenaline junkie. I love roller coasters and I love anything that's like a little bit of danger. I think that's a lot of fun, and as long as it's not like I'm actually gonna die, I enjoy it, yeah. I would say I'm pretty competitive. You know, I've been competitive swimming. I've also done competitive dancing in the past, not to the same level, but even just in life, I would say I'm pretty competitive. Even when it's like small level competitions to like big level competitions, I'm competitive. I'm willing to do pretty much anything to get to the end, as long as it's like inside, you know, what you can do in Survivor. I think anything goes, as long as it's not like pissing off the jury too much. I think, yeah, I'll do anything. I'd say that my favourite Survivor move would be something that I think is also realistic to pull off, would be in season 29, where Natalie Anderson blindsided John Mish. I think that was a really good move. You know, he was her ally, but he had also betrayed her in the past, and she finally got revenge on that, but she had the perfect timing to do so, which got her to the end. So that's something I'd like to pull off.
Yeah.
Also just Natalie Anderson's entire game.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
There's definitely a lot of bad Survivor moves that have been done. You know, there's the obvious ones like Eric in season 16 and JT in season 20, but personally, the worst Survivor move, in my opinion, would be in the Game Changers, the big tribal, where JT told Brad Culpepper who they were targeting and then got his own ally sent home and then him sent home right after that.